Have you ever eaten groundnut and found that they taste bitter? Those nuts were likely affected by mold. In this part of the country, certain molds commonly found in groundnut produce poison that are harmful to humans and animals. First is a story of a farmer who learns about this problem.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Oh, how may I help you?
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I am an Agric Extension Officer from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture Extension Service.
Okay.
How are you this afternoon?
Oh, we are not doing well. Oh. My whole family is sick. We have been vomiting and diarrhea, and our eyes are yellow.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But it looks like your sickness may be caused by aflatoxin. Has your family recently taken groundnuts?
Yes, but my grandma cannot possibly be causing us to be sick.
Believe it or not, the environment in which the groundnuts are stored can make the groundnut poisonous. In this part of Ghana, there is a particular mold that can grow on groundnuts. And when the groundnuts are not well dried or when stored in a moist environment, this mold can produce a poison called aflatoxin.
We have been eating our groundnuts for such a long time. Why is this happening now?
There are 4 main reasons why you may just be seeing them now. First, when it is very hot and dry, during the groundnut cultivation, your crops become weak and molds from the soil may be get into it more easily. The mold lives in the soil. So if you are leaving your plants in or on the soil, after they are matured, the groundnuts can easily become moldy, which can produce aflatoxin.
Oh no, so I shouldn't eat soya.
Second, if it rains a lot and you leave your groundnuts in a heap for some time, instead of spreading and while drying, mold may continue to grow and spread. It's important that the groundnuts are spread out during drying so that they can dry quickly and tolerate.
It has rained a lot after harvesting this year, and I always heap my groundnuts when it rains.
The third one, there may be bad groundnut that do not look right. They may be discolored or shriveled, or the pods may be empty. These bad groundnuts may be infected with mold, so you must remove them before storing. Otherwise, the mold could spread into good groundnuts.
It sounds like we need to do more sorting. That sounds like a good job for the children.
The fourth and the last, your storage condition may not be good. The nuts may be stored directly on the floor without any air circulation and insects crawling around the groundnuts while the groundnuts are in storage. The groundnuts become moist and insects can spread the mold from groundnut to groundnut. The more mold, the more aflatoxin.
Instead, we can do more than eating the groundnuts. Have you seen other farmers and their families getting sick around here?
Yes. And I will tell you what I have told them. There are simple steps you can take to improve the health of your crops and the health of your family.
Aflatoxin is a poisonous substance, which we say toxic substance, that is produced by a fungi, which normally we call the mold. Now, this mold lives in the soil and can also grow on certain plant species and seeds. Now, what happens is this mold, this pathogen mold or fungi, then produces this toxic substance or the poison, which is harmful to plants, animals, and humans as well. Groundnuts are very, very susceptible to this mold, which produces the aflatoxin. What it means is that the groundnut can be a receptacle for a lot of this aflatoxin, which then, when consumed by ordinary people like us, can lead to cancers, especially cancer of the liver, and in children especially can lead to growth retardation and brain development. Normally, with humans, you can get the contamination in two forms. Either when you eat a lot of it within a short period of time, which can result in vomiting, for example, diarrhea, convulsions, and again, can predispose you to cancers. Now, in children, for example, if they eat a lot of this aflatoxin over a long period of time, that is in small quantities, but over a period of time, it prevents their development. So they become stunted, they are not able to grow well, their brains are not able to develop well as normal children should. And again, it predisposes them to cancer, especially the liver cancer, which I talked about.
The 4 steps in aflatoxin prevention are: 1. Timely harvest. 2. Careful drying. 3. Proper sorting. And 4. Good storage. The first is timely harvest. To make sure your groundnut plants are strong and healthy all the way to harvest, you must harvest on time. Do not harvest too early or too late. If you harvest too early or leave your nuts in the ground for too long, they may become weak and could become affected with mold. The second is careful drying and moisture control. Avoiding contact with the soil is very important because the mold exists in the soil. Immediately after harvest, the very same day if possible, pluck the nuts from the stem and bring it home to dry. If this is not possible, you should put the plant upside down in the field so that the pods are in the air and do not touch the soil. Water will also run through the pods if they are in the air, so they will dry more quickly. You always need to consider moisture control throughout the post-harvest season. Do not heap your nuts in the field whilst you are waiting to pluck them, as this concentrates moisture and allows mold to grow. When drying the pods, you should also ensure that they are not in contact with the soil. You can instead dry the pot on top of your roof or on taps. You can also sew together old plastic bags to make a tap. When you spread the pot to dry, be careful not to break them. Do not walk on the pot as this could cause them to break. When the pots are broken, it is easier for mold to affect them. A way for you to keep from breaking your groundnut is to use a long-handled rake. If you are using taps, your taps should be big enough to hold your nuts. You may need several taps to dry your crops. You should also, as much as possible, avoid heaping the nuts whilst drying. This brings us to the third item, proper sorting. You must remove moldy shells, empty shells, shells with holes in them, broken shells, shells that are shriveled from good nuts. Leaving bad nut mixed with good may also spoil your good nuts. You should remove the bad nut as early as possible after harvest, even during plugging if you can. These damaged nuts should not be consumed, not even as groundnut paste or dawa, as they may contain toxin that will harm your health. Livestock can also be affected by the toxin. They will not grow well if they consume bad nut that contain these toxins. The milk, meat, and eggs you get from them will contain the toxin too, so you should not feed these nuts to livestock. One thing you can do is to press these nuts for oil. The oil will not contain the toxin, otherwise bad nuts should be discarded. The fourth and final item, good storage. You will need to keep your granules safe during storage. First, you should use clean storage bags. Mold and insect can get into the nut if you use old dirty bags. New bags are best, but you can also turn your old bags inside out. Brush off any visible dirt. Even better, wash them, and then allow them to sit in the sun for at least a day on each side. This will reduce the number of insect eggs that may be inside the bags. Second, you should place the bags off the ground during storage. You can do this by creating a simple platform with rocks and sticks on which to place the bags. Third, leave a space between the bags and the wall of your storage area. This will keep air circulating around the nuts and prevent moisture in the air from getting into the nuts. Finally, you can put some insecticides on the surface below the platform on which the bag sits to prevent insects from reaching them. Following these 4 steps, that is, timely harvest, careful drying, proper sorting, and good storage, will help keep you and your family and Ghana safe from this menace called aflatoxin.